Abakiga cyo muyigere hano yambaganire. Now you all remember the story of the man who slept for 20 years. Yes, the ancient story of Rip Van Winkle from the stories of Washington Irving. Of course, Washington was an author of short stories and he talks about a man who slept for 20 years. Now that's the legend, the myth, the man, Rip Van Winkle. But hold on, here is an ancient story of the Bakiga about the same Rip Van Winkle but the Ruchiga variant. Now I believe you've all heard about the story of Ruhondeeza Mweene BUSASI. This is a mythical traditional story that has been told for many generations and passed down many years ago. Let's go into it. According to the tale, Ruhondeeza was a mature man who loved to sleep a lot. He could use any opportunity given to him just to sleep, even if there was a lot of work to do. This guy would still find a place and sleep. One time, Ruhondeeza found a hidden place and slept, just like he had done so many times. However, nobody woke him up. The sun set, it rose, it set again and rose. The guy was still asleep. The month came to pass, the rains of Katumba came and passed. Now Katumba apparently is the month of March, came and passed. Ruhondeeza was still asleep. Now the Chanda, a Chanda is the dry season, it came and passed. Ruhondeeza was still asleep. And so many months came and passed. Ruhondeeza was still asleep. Ruhondeeza slept that at the place where he slept, grass grew between his fingers and around him. It became bushy. Ruhondeeza was still asleep. Apparently, Ruhondeeza slept for 20 years. When he finally woke up, he could not see because the sleepy seeds had covered up his eyes and they were too large. Now apparently the sleepy seeds are what we call ebihonzi in Ruchiga and Runyankore. His beard and hair had grown so long that the beard could touch his chest. In short, Ruhondeeza looked like a wild animal. And remember, he could not see. Now you can imagine. Now due to his absence, his wife had gotten inherited by another man, as it was a tradition in Bakiga that when you die, of course your wife has to be inherited by whoever the family chooses. Now the case was with Ruhondeeza's wife. She had been inherited too. So here was Ruhondeeza, homeless, blind, and suffering just because he chose sleeping over anything else. It was from his name Ruhondeeza that the term Okuhondeeza came from. Now Okuhondeeza apparently means sleeping soundly that you cannot even wake up or know what's taking place around you. That's where Ruhondeeza came from. In the early days when you Okuhondeeza, you could be carried off your bed, put in water, and still you would not wake up. Let's go back to Ruhondeeza. However, for Ruhondeeza, he managed to sleep for all these years without waking up. Now, that's called hibernation in science. People from different villages and regions across Ankore and Chigezi knew about the story and they heard about the man who had slept for all these years, Ruhondeeza. Many of them came to see for themselves and there he was, Ruhondeeza, the man who was living in agony or pain. BUSASI, as it is in Ruchiga, they had to see a man who was living a life of suffering, BUSASI. At this point, people nicknamed him Ruhondeeza Mweene BUSASI, meaning Ruhondeeza, the offspring of suffering. That basically meant that the offspring of sleeping too much was agony or BUSASI. Ruhondeeza Mweene BUSASI, meaning that the offspring of sleeping for so long is agony. The parents started advising their children to always wake up so early and work so that they could not be like Ruhondeeza Mweene BUSASI, because the results of hiding in granaries to sleep would be this agony or BUSASI. And that's the story that has been told among the Bakiga about a man, Ruhondeeza Mweene BUSASI. Now, note that this tale was originally compiled by Kazoba Kanyamuhanga, omukigo mu Ruganda rw'Abasigi, omuzoba mu bazoba bamparo, abatanywa mizi kandi abatanyata. And huge shoutouts to you, africa2you.org, for this amazing story. See you in the next story.